Today, I am at the border of Germany and Poland, exploring the ruins of a gigantic abandoned power plant that was created by the Third Reich. Welcome to Waste Media. Before we get started, hit the like, comment, and subscribe. Welcome to Kraftwerk Vogelsang. The story of this towering structure begins in eastern Brandenburg. As World War II began, Germany's demand for energy skyrocketed. Factories that were producing weapons and aircraft required immense power, far exceeding the region's capabilities. In response to this demand, Nazi Germany's Minister of Armaments, Albert Speer, initiated the Warmer-Kraft Sofort program, a plan to build a series of identical high-output power plants. These plants were intended to streamline production by using standardized designs, reducing construction time and costs. The plan called for 15 identical plants, but resource shortages quickly reduced that number to just 5. Kraftwerk Vogelsang, one of 5 planned, broke ground in 1943 near Fürstenberg. It was ideally situated among rich lignite deposits, with the Oder River providing a steady source of cooling water. The plant's construction came at an immense human cost. The construction relied heavily on forced labor. Jewish prisoners, captured soldiers, and other detainees from Stalag B, a giant prisoner camp nearby, were forced to work on the project. Progress on the plant was slow, hampered by the poor conditions and lack of skilled labor. Construction dragged on for over a year, with only one of the planned 75-megawatt power blocks completed by early 1945. Despite these delays, the Nazis touted Kraftwerk Vogelsang as a triumph of their industrial program, renaming it from Wernerwerk to Kraftwerk Vogelsang in 1944. However, the ambitious goals of the program, created by Albert Speer, were never fully realized. Of the 5 planned plants, Vogelsang was the only one to reach the stage of theoretical operability. The war's demands and Germany's crumbling infrastructure meant the remaining projects were abandoned before completion. As World War II neared its end, the story of Vogelsang took a dramatic and violent turn. By 1945, the tides of war had turned decisively against Nazi Germany, and the Soviet Red Army was advancing westward at an unprecedented pace. Recognizing the plant's potential strategic importance, German forces hastily evacuated Vogelsang, with remaining workers fleeing or being drafted into the Volkssturm, a desperate militia of undertrained and poorly equipped civilians. On February 6, Soviet troops established a bridgehead near the plant. Despite German efforts to slow their advance by destroying a nearby bridge, the bitter winter offered little rest as soldiers on both sides trudged through icy terrain, engaging in fierce battles around the plant. The towering chimneys became invaluable to the Soviets as observation points, allowing them to direct artillery fire with devastating accuracy. The fighting was brutal and relentless. Determined to retake the plant and eliminate the Soviet foothold, German commanders sent wave after wave of troops, including young and inexperienced recruits. Casualties mounted alarmingly, with some German units suffering losses exceeding 70% in single engagements. For weeks, the power plant and the surrounding area became a blood-soaked battlefield, with control shifting back and forth. By late February, German forces managed to recapture parts of Vogelsang, but were unable to reclaim the entire village or the plant due to dwindling supplies and reinforcements. Meanwhile, the Soviets continued to fortify their positions, turning the battle into a drawn-out stalemate. After the German surrender in May 1945, the Soviet military administration took control of the region. They ordered the dismantling of the plant, stripping it of machinery, electrical equipment, and steel components. These materials were shipped eastward as part of a reparations plan, leaving behind only the reinforced concrete skeleton of the plant. Unlike many other wartime industrial sites, this plant was spared complete demolition. Local authorities feared that detonating the plant's remains might damage the nearby Oder dike, which was critical to preventing flooding in the region. As a result, the ruined structure stood abandoned. As I was walking through the abandoned plant, I only ran into one other person, who was walking through the ruins. There is a nice bike path nearby, and some locals were going for rides. Everything within the structures has been stripped behind, leaving only broken glass and crumbling bricks. Thanks for watching. See you next time.